Welcome back to Campfire Whispers, your daily fix of horror stories, unsolved mysteries, and straight-up unbelievable content. My name is Eki, and today I'm sharing a story called The Last Light of Greystone House. So get comfortable and let's get started. Greystone House sat on the outskirts of the small town of Maplewood, cloaked in ivy and shadow. For decades, it had been empty, its windows dark and its walls whispering secrets few dared to uncover. The locals told stories about the house, tales of strange lights flickering in the attic and eerie sounds drifting on the wind at night. No one had lived there since the Green family mysteriously disappeared one cold autumn evening in 1972. That's when Thomas Green, his wife Margaret, and their two children vanished without a trace. Their belongings remained untouched, meals left cold on the table, and the fireplace still warm. No note, no sign of struggle, only silence filled the rooms. The mystery had haunted Maplewood ever since. Amelia Carter, a curious and determined young woman with a passion for uncovering forgotten stories, decided to investigate the house herself. Armed with a camera, a flashlight, and a notebook, she arrived on a crisp October afternoon, the sun dipping low behind the trees. The air was thick with the smell of damp leaves and something faintly metallic. As she approached, the front door creaked open on its own, inviting her inside. Amelia hesitated but stepped over the threshold, the wooden floor groaning beneath her feet. Dust motes danced in the beams of her flashlight as she moved through the grand foyer, her footsteps echoing softly. Paint peeled from the walls, and the wallpaper curled like dying leaves. She found family portraits hanging crookedly, faces blurred and eyes hollowed. The house felt alive, watching her every move. Amelia made her way to the kitchen, where she found a broken teacup lying shattered on the floor. The table was set for four, but the chairs sat empty and cold. A faint chill ran down her spine as she noticed the fireplace still had ashes from a recent fire. She scribbled notes furiously, documenting every detail. Suddenly, she heard footsteps above her, slow and deliberate. She froze, listening as the sound moved across the floor upstairs and then stopped. Her heart thudded loudly in her chest. Gathering her courage, Amelia climbed the grand staircase. The hallway was lined with closed doors, each one seeming to breathe in the dim light. At the end, the attic door stood slightly ajar, and from within came a soft, flickering glow. Amelia pushed the door open and entered the attic. The room was cluttered with old furniture, trunks, and dusty paintings. At the center, a single candle burned on a small table, its flame wavering despite the lack of breeze. She stepped closer and noticed a dusty journal lying next to the candle. Opening it, she found entries written in a hurried, shaky script. The journal belonged to Margaret Green. Her words spoke of fear, of shadows moving in the corners of her vision, and whispers that filled the night. She wrote about strange lights seen through the windows and a growing sense that something was coming for them. One entry chilled Amelia to the bone. It watches from the darkness. We are not alone. A sudden crash downstairs made Amelia jump. She grabbed her flashlight and hurried down, but the house was empty again. Her footsteps echoed in the silent rooms as she searched for the source. In the living room, she found an old phonograph spinning slowly, the needle skipping over a cracked record. A faint melody played, haunting and distorted. The room grew colder, and Amelia could see her breath in the air. The whispers returned, soft and insistent, brushing her ear like a cold breath. "Leave," they seemed to say. Ignoring the warnings, Amelia pressed on, determined to uncover the truth. She found a hidden door behind a bookshelf, leading down to a cellar filled with cobwebs and darkness. Descending carefully, she found strange symbols etched into the walls, circles and lines that pulsed with a faint blue glow. The air was thick and heavy, like breathing through water. At the center of the cellar stood a stone altar, stained with dark patches that could only be old blood. Amelia felt a presence behind her and spun around, but saw nothing. Her flashlight flickered violently, then died. In the pitch black, the whispers turned into voices, overlapping and urgent. "Help us," they pleaded. "Set us free." Amelia fumbled for her lighter, sparks flaring in the darkness. When the flame caught, she saw figures materializing, translucent shapes of people, their faces twisted in sorrow and fear. The spirits of the Green family. They reached out, their hands passing through her as they begged for release. Amelia realized the house was a prison, holding these lost souls captive. She searched the altar and found a small silver key hidden in a crack. With trembling hands, she inserted it into a lock embedded in the stone. The altar glowed brighter, and the spirits lifted, their faces softening as they began to fade. "Thank you," Margaret whispered before vanishing completely. The oppressive atmosphere lifted instantly, warmth flooding the cellar. Amelia climbed back upstairs, the house feeling lighter, almost alive with relief. She stepped outside just as dawn broke, the first rays of sunlight painting the sky pink and gold. Greystone House seemed to breathe a sigh, its dark curse broken at last. Back in town, Amelia shared her story and evidence. People listened, amazed and grateful to learn the truth about the Green family. The house was restored, its windows repaired, and its gardens tended once again. But at night, some swear they still see a faint candlelight flickering in the attic. A reminder that even when the darkness fades, the past never truly disappears. Weeks later, Amelia received an anonymous package. Inside was an old photograph of the Green family, smiling, alive, standing in front of Greystone House. On the back, a message was scrawled in faded ink. "We are always with you." A chill ran down her spine as she stared at the image. That night, as she slept, she dreamed of the house, bathed in candlelight and warmth. The Green family smiled and waved, their eyes filled with gratitude. But just as she reached out to them, the shadows stretched and swallowed the light. Amelia woke up gasping, the room dark and silent once more. She knew the spirits were free, but some part of Greystone House would always remain a mystery. A secret whispered through the walls, waiting for the next curious soul. So if you ever find yourself near Maplewood, and you see a flicker of candlelight in the window of Greystone House, remember this story and tread carefully. Because some houses hold more than memories. They hold pieces of the past that refuse to die. And sometimes, the last light they show is a warning. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Join me next time for more unbelievable tales on Campfire Whispers.